is Monroe Stoll. I'm from Stowe, Ohio. And you're listening to Barbecue Central.
Start the game! Let's go!
We'll do it live. Okay. Well, do it live! I'll write it and we'll do it live!
So to get that perfect barbecue, you use wood. Are you sure it's safe? Whatever. We put the lighter fluid on, strike your match, and... Oh! Should we call the fire department? That might be a good idea.
All right, good evening, and welcome to the really big Barbecue Central show. This is the show that talks about all things that are important in the world of barbecue and grilling. The show originating from the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame city, Bomb City, USA, Cleveland, Ohio, the barbecue capital of the North Coast. I'm your program host, Greg Rempe. Happy to have you aboard here on your Tuesday evenings, a live fire, fun, and frivolity show. If you would like to get in contact with the show this evening, or you would like to follow the show during off-show hours, here's how you do all that.
You can get in touch with the show by sending an email to Greg at thebbqcentralshow.com. Follow us on all the social media channels at BBQ Central Show. And be sure to subscribe to the show podcast feed on your favorite podcast platform.
Anything else you want to find out about the show can be found at the main website, thebbqcentralshow.com. And here's what's happening in case you get the newsletter. Coming up in about 12 minutes from now, a first-time guest. Somebody who is in business has also got into the live fire business. We'll learn all about how the big brand came to be and then how these live fire entities came to be. One of them growing in popularity. I see it all around social media these days. The creator of Tribal Fire Grill and the Game Changer Smoker, or the Game Change Smoker, one of those two. Aaron Norris joins the show. We'll talk to Aaron about all that. Looking forward to that conversation. Then 35 past the first hour, also another first-time guest, somebody who is into cooking outside, somebody who is into an animal-based diet, hence her Instagram handle and where she sees quite an extraordinary amount of fame and followers. Her name is Lindsay. Ooh, I hate to say that I might get this last name wrong, and we'll get clarification in the second segment, but I believe it's Lindsay De Aguila, but you might know her as Animal Based Bae, B-A-E, for the hipsters. So we'll talk to her about how she got into the animal-based eating diet, what she likes about it. More importantly, what she's cooking outside. Maybe she's got a host of grills. Maybe she only likes one grill. Maybe you won't even ask her about grills. Who knows? Turn in 35 past the first hour. Learn all about Lindsay, the animal-based bae, and give her a follow on Instagram. Some of you pervs will definitely like that. And then we will move to the second hour because it's the fourth Tuesday of a month. That can only mean one thing. What is that, you say? The revisitation of the embedded correspondence. Oh my God, it's going to be great. We have a full, dare I say, replete list of 100% assurity questions. As I was telling one of my colleagues at lunch this afternoon, I'm saying assurity to your face, knowing full well that there is not one time in the English dictionary that you will find the word surety. We have made it up here on the show, and by God, we are running with it. And if you don't like it,
Great. I don't give a fuck.
that's right, Jess. We don't. You say it. I'm not going to say that, but you say it. Who knew that was going to be a sound drop? That should be the poll question of the week that we'll get to here in just a second. Who thought that was going to be a sound drop that lives on the soundboard? As soon as I heard it, I knew it was going to be there, and now it lives there. Anyway, second hour embedded correspondence, replete list, as I had mentioned earlier, of surety questions and a whole bunch of other stuff as well. So Aaron Lindsay in the first hour, embedded correspondence in the second hour. By the way, that's Aaron, Lindsay, my guests in the first hour, and then embedded correspondence second hour. Don't forget you can follow me socially, Instagram, Twitter, TikTok, Snappy Snaps, and the LinkedIn's, all with the handle at BBQ Central Show. We say good evening to those of you watching the show tonight through one of the video streaming platform partners, facebook.com/BBQ Central Show or the twitter.com/BBQ Central Show. Of course, on YouTube, which is youtube.com/@BBQ Central Show. And we also have a new YouTube poll question of the week that will be asking everybody this. Have you tried the McDonald's Chicken Big Mac? And currently 79% of you are saying no. I'm shocked it's that high of a no. I'm also heartened a little bit by that. Like, are you regular McDonald's eaters and you just don't want to venture into the Chicken Big Mac? Or you're just not McDonald's eaters or fast food eaters like myself? Rarely are you. There has to be a lot going wrong for me to then voluntarily go fast food. Results of the poll question from last week is a time to boot Meathead off the show. 2 no-shows is too many. 66% of you said indeed no. So where I was going to start here tonight a few weeks ago, I'm actually going to start somewhere completely different. Because tonight is September 22nd, and September 22nd might not mean anything. I mean, October 22nd, of course. And October 22nd might not mean anything to you, but it means a great deal to me. Is it my wife's birthday? Yes, it is. Is it my wife's 50th birthday? Yes, it is. Am I a gentleman for giving that up? Always debatable. But what makes this birthday most important and most special to me, and a birthday because it's just happenstance, that it's 50 years old. But the reason that it means the most to me, and while I'll never forget it, is because we're getting on 2 years now. But let's say sometime, this coming January, February, when my wife finds out that she had a cancer in her abdomen, had 8 feet of her large intestine taken out, subsequently going down to Texas for those scans, and then seeing that it had metastasized to her liver. The reason that this birthday is so special to me is because this was supposed to be the first birthday that I was not going to have a wife. Her time was going to be up by now, according to the doctors initially. So this one will always be more important to me than any other birthday that comes after this. Because there was a definitive period in my life where somebody told me what could happen. That doesn't usually happen for me. I usually make it happen on my own, or my wife and I make it happen as a team, but getting information that might otherwise change your mind and you have nothing to do with it, and not only change your mind, change your life. This was the birthday, for all intents, was not supposed to happen. So I can only tell you, if you're faced with something similar or the exact same or along the lines, in this healthcare world, this isn't a political thing. You have to be working with people that are knowledgeable, that are healthcare smart, literate, healthcare literate. You have to advocate for yourself. You have to second guess everything. You have to question everything, and you have to make alternative arrangements if you don't like the information that you're getting. And we did all of those things. My wife works in healthcare, so she is healthcare literate. And we advocated and questioned everything. And luckily today, cancer-free. Every day lived with gratitude. Every day seeing in a little bit different light because it could have been completely different. So today, my love, Rebecca Bell, Rempe, happy 50th birthday, and you proved them wrong once again. You did it. So this is why this one is my most favorite birthday ever. So Aaron Norris will be showing up here, perhaps in a minute or two. We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. Wonder why my chat box is not showing up. Oh, there we go. Oh, I gotta pick it. There we go. Give me a second. I'll get there. All right, so here we go. It's Schwank Grill time. You don't know what Schwank looks like? Well, there's some food that Schwank is giving you. It's the grill everybody's talking about, let's be honest. You're probably seeing it a lot on social media as well. They've been hitting it hard. They've been hitting it with a lot of social media folks. It's the Schwank Grill. What do we know? Heats up to 1,500 degrees using infrared burner technology. What does that mean to you? You can cook steaks depending on thickness in little as 3 to 4 minutes. No more wasting your life cooking proteins you want. Schwank does it quickly with great results. The infrared burner technology, the same technology used by the world's best steakhouses, including Morton's, Del Frisco's, Cut 432, just to name a few off the top of my head. And they're using the same burner technology that is in the Schwank Grill. This isn't something akin to it. It's the same. And remember, at 1,500 degrees, regardless of what you're cooking, if you want to build that delicious crust, the Maillard reaction, you can do it right there very easily without overcooking. Everything stays juicy, flavorful. Nothing like it on the market today. Some are calling it the future of grilling. But the Centralites love a deal. They want to save money. Let's do that. Go to schwankgrill.com, SCHWANK grills.com. Use promo code BBQ Central at checkout. You can save $150 off a Schwank Grill. That easy to save money. Enjoy the restaurant quality heat. There's a link in the show notes. Also, the weekly newsletter. You can also go to the homepage. Click on the link there. Schwank Grills. Promo code BBQ Central. We are back with Aaron Norris of Tribal Fire Grills right after this. Stick around. We'll be right back.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Broadcasting live from the Barbecue Central Show studios in Cleveland, Ohio. You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by cookingpellets.com, your number one source for quality wood pellets for all your pellet-driven cookers. Visit cookingpellets.com to see their products, and then go to amazon.com or walmart.com or lowes.com to purchase. Same great products, even better shipping rates, as told to me by the great folks over at cookingpellets.com. Gang, do you like open fire cooking? Of course you do. Do you like flat top cooking? Yes. Do you like units that combine both? into a singular / modular piece? If the answer is yes, and I know that it is, then you're going to want to stick around for the next 20 minutes as we welcome in first-time guest and the owner of Tribal Fire Grill. We are welcoming our new friend, Aaron Norris, to the show. Aaron, how are you, pal?
Hey, I'm doing great. Good evening, Greg.
Aaron, before we get going here tonight, we have a YouTube poll question of the week that we are asking everybody, including all guests.
All right.
So we're asking everybody this question. Have you tried the McDonald's Chicken Big Mac, yes or no?
Oh, that would be no. I just learned about that yesterday.
Right.
So I got to get a chance to get to a McDonald's and try it.
All right, well, it's a no for now. By the way, 84% of the YouTube voting public aligning with you. So I don't know if they're more in your case of not really knowing about it, but I've been seeing it for at least a week or so. It has not tickled my fancy. I'm not a big fast food guy anyway, but I don't know. McDonald's Chicken Big Mac, if I'm going to eat a Big Mac, it's going to be a real Big Mac. It's not going to be a Chicken Big Mac, and even then, it's probably only like a 5% chance. So,
Well, yeah.
nevertheless, first time on the show, so appreciate you making the time.
Yep.
Little
Thank you.
background about you professionally, where you might be stationed across the great globe of ours, and then we can dig into Tribal Fire a little bit more.
Yeah, thank you. Once again, my name's Aaron Norris. I own Norris Thermal Technologies. We're here in Indiana. We are a small family manufacturer, and we've been around since my father started the business in 1965. So just a couple years.
Yeah.
And in recent years, I've taken over the business and kind of put my imprint on the business with some new product lines. We have been dedicated to building industrial dryers for food and feed for many years. And in recent years, we've got these new product lines, namely Tribal Fire Grill and Game Changer Smoker, as a kind of diversifying what we are able to do here, but fits within our goal of providing thermal type equipment for food products.
I was going to ask you how you tie in a Tribal Fire Grill like you have. Is it similar? Forgive my ignorance, but is it similar machinery or molding tooling or something like this, or are you opening new facilities and incorporating all of that?
So what we are doing, our knowledge base is thermal heat transfer. And so we've just taken it from an industrial down to a commercial and down to a residential type product. So just one thing led to another. We developed the Game Changer Smoker, looking to produce small dehydrators. And then one thing led to another that we started adding a smoke generator to it and decided it would fit well into a commercial kitchen environment. From there, the Tribal Fire Grill was just me being in the food smoking side of things. I wanted a griddle. I didn't want just gas. I really loved the charcoal open fire wood. There wasn't a lot on the market that combined both. So, having a fab shop, we just created our own.
In regards to the Game Changer Smoker, what kind of application is this best suited for? And I guess let me back it out for a second and ask a different question first before I ask that question.
Okay.
You say you started out as a dehydrator. So how big of a change, or what changes do you have to make to take it from being dehydrator to a smoker or a barbecue?
Well, yeah, really, it turns into a convection oven is what it is. And we have a patent on a smoke generator utilizing wood pellets. So it's called a Game Changer for a reason, because what we have done is we have broken down the science of smoking, and we've separated the heat from the smoking. And what that's allowed us to do is it allowed us to deliver consistency. It allows the chef to be creative, because now we can either cold smoke, hot smoke, or turn the smoke off and dehydrate, because we have convection fans and electric heat. So separating the smoke generating from the heating of the machine allows us to accomplish a myriad of different results that the chef he can cold smoke cheese, he can cold smoke his creams, or he can do traditional barbecue, cold smoke steaks, or take fruit, leftover fruit, and so it doesn't go to waste, and dehydrate it for cocktails or other types of applications. And so it's got that ability to give the chef a lot of creativity. So we're going right into commercial kitchens and applying it there. It's about the size of a double door refrigerator. It's on casters, so it's very, very mobile. That's one of the things we wanted to be able to do. We wanted to fit a commercial kitchen well. And really all it needs is a 220 volt, 30 amp plug, plugs it into the wall. We do not even require to be under a hood because it's a non-flame system. We're just smoking the pellets, and at the end, they look like a piece of charcoal. They go into a water pan. And really what that is biochar, and it is a sustainable plant food source that you can put in your horticulture. And so with that, we're only using like 1.25 cups of pellets an hour. So it's a real low pellet consumption because we're only smoking. We're not using the pellets to heat. And then it's only a 30 amp plug. So it's very low utilities. So it's very efficient for the commercial kitchen as well.
The first thing that's jumping into my head here, and you're obviously way ahead of this one, is that home indoor smoker that GE came out with earlier in the year where you're filling it with pellets. Now, they do go out of their way to say that the smoke is going through some kind of a filtration or a scrubbing process, and then heat is just kicked out from the back. So similar to yours then?
So what that is, they're utilizing a catalyst to eliminate the smoke. We still need to evacuate the smoke out of the smoker so we can be adjacent to the hood. We don't have to be under the hood. Think about a hood could cost you $2,000-$3,000 a foot. So this is saving the kitchen money. And we can just through a flex duct evacuate that smoke into the hood and out of the kitchen. So it saves them money while not needing a fire suppression or expensive hood space.
Any barbecue restaurants that we have heard of that are using the Game Changer smoker?
Yeah, we have several. We've got one, believe it or not, one of the most famous ones, not traditional barbecue, High-Low Taco in Philly. And we've got on YouTube, if you subscribe to Game Changer Smoker, at Game Changer Smoker, you'll see our episode of called Trippin' in the Kitchen, where we're at High-Low Taco in Philadelphia, Lucius Q in Cincinnati, and then we got Pig Star in the Nashville airport, which is Peg Leg Porker there in Nashville, which is a well-known brand, and they are in the Nashville airport.
Where would you like to see it in 5 or 10 years? So a lot of people are going to listen to this and they're going to think concept great. I want to get my hands on one. It's obviously a little out of the range for backyard folks. Maybe not all backyard folks, but do you see going into the backyard at some point?
Yeah, I do see us having, we're definitely business oriented, but I'm going to tell you what, if you're a guy that likes barbecue and you want the coolest smoker on the block, you ought to check it out. I mean, because you would be the cool guy on the block. I mean, it's a game changer, right? But I really want to see us have some franchising models. I think we are entering into that space really quick. I think we're going to see a lot of sports stadiums. Right now, there's a lot of universities that are running it. There's a lot of amusement parks, K through 12 schools. A lot of K through 12 schools are starting to jump on this. So, we're seeing, there's millions and millions of servings a day at all these types of entities. And I want to see Game Changer delivering consistent quality smoke flavor to all these types of facilities that you as a consumer are frequenting every day for lunch and dinner and so forth. The
other side of this is the tribal fire grill. So it's wood, it's charcoal, it's everything that us barbecue lovers have come to know and love. We've accepted more electric stuff along, over the years too, and some of this, so Game Changer fits in there. But as far as the tribal is concerned, you said that was a bit of a passion of yours, so you're making this cooker. When you were perusing the current marketplace, what did you see that you liked, and what did you see that you could improve upon?
Well, I saw some models out there that were some brands out there that were utilizing wood, charcoal on a griddle, but they were very expensive, $3,000, $4,000, $5,000. And I wanted to build a high quality, once again, built in my factory in the USA, just like the Game Changer Tribal Fire, built right in my factory, high quality materials, American made, ingenuity, craftsmanship. And I wanted a mid-range priced grill, and so that's what we set off to do. And I think we are accomplishing that well, very well. So, you see the low end, it's imported grills. Do not want to go there. I have no desire to go down those roads, and I think there's a real case for well-built USA built. Long lasting, you're going to pass it down to your kids type of grill. So that's where I saw some lack in that space, but we did see a few top end guys out there.
So the one that jumps right off the top of my head is a brand called Art Flame. I don't even know if that's
Correct.
still around. I had one in my backyard many years ago. And so it was certainly a conversation piece. In
Yes.
the end, real talk here. I used it twice a year. I used it Memorial Day. I used it Labor Day. It seemed highly inefficient. It was very smoky, no matter how I was trying to modify it. So how does yours work compared to that?
Yeah. You got to manage the air. So coming from the business with, once again, incorporating our knowledge of convection of air, helped us then design the grill for proper air management. And that's what was lacking in what you were seeing, because it was improper burn. It didn't heat well. It consumed a lot of wood or charcoal. And so you have to have proper air management, like we all know, and a good smoker and a good grill has that built into it. So we put in the proper venting to allow the air movement and the proper burn within our grill. So that's a big change. I also wanted it, and a lot of people have said this to me, and I really believe it, and I start building it into it, is a lot of people call it kind of the Swiss Army knife of grills. We wanted a lot of accessories. So we have a patent on it for the griddle top, wood fired, but with the rods and the swing grates to go over the flame. So we wanted to have these accessories so we could have different ways of cooking or different ways of holding the food hot, or add grill grates, or add a hotel pin. Maybe your queso goes into that. You can be cooking your queso, or you can have surf and turf over the flame. You're boiling your pot of seafood while you're grilling your steaks on the flat top surface. So we wanted different ways of cooking, and so that has been kind of an integral part of how we designed the Tribal Fire Grill.
How long has it been out?
So we started it in 2020. Kind of a funny story right there in as COVID was coming on, and I wanted to build a grill that I felt like I wanted us to communal grill, build relations around it. And that's why our design is circular in nature, right? So you can have your kid on one side, or husband and wife or friends around it, gather, enjoying the cooking process and building relationships. So it was a kind of a communal grill. Well, of course, I would be the one that would build a communal grill right in the middle of the COVID era, right? So at first I was like, oh no, is this going to be like the Nova of grills here? But it was actually a blessing. People during that time, and we all know how they went to grilling on the patio. So it really was able to kind of start to build a name and a brand, even in that era, even though it was a communal grill. That's kind of how it got its roots and start. So in 2020 we did start this, and we're looking at kind of a relaunch this year. We've put a lot of time and effort in some new designs. We're coming out with a new gas unit with a infrared technology, a VT burner, which is a very high efficient burner that, as we know, infrared does a good job of heating surfaces. And so we have a griddle, and we got a infrared burner that we're heating the plate in a very efficient manner. And so I think we're only the ones that are using this VT technology. If you go to vtburner.com, you can kind of check out this technology. It's really cool. And like I said, very, very efficient. So we're implementing that into the grills. So we'll have a secondary line of gas fired tribal fire grills. We have our small, more portable model, the mini, and then we have our full size tribal fire grill. And so that's kind of where we're heading here this next year.
If Weber or Traeger came knocking on Aaron Norris's door and said, Aaron, you are doing a bang up job, what's the check number to get you to sell to us? Is that something you would entertain, or do you like doing this?
Well, as a businessman, you listen to everything, right? You never say no to anything, but I'm going to tell you what, I'm having fun what I'm doing. I love the Game Changer. I love the Tribal Fire Grill. I love our other products as well. I mean, these are part of my family history, but Tribal Fire Grill, Game Changer, they got my fingerprint on it. And I'm just getting going at this. I've got a long ways to go. I want to build it. I want to build it big. And I think it's on its way. And maybe some other day we'll entertain that. I've got some sons coming up behind me. You know, I think they may be interested in it. So, and if not, then hey, we'll pick up the phone and we'll talk.
What's your favorite thing to cook on the Tribal Fire Grill?
Hands down, steak. I mean, we're in the SCA world. We're competing all the time. I can't, a good ribeye steak is just my favorite. I mean, followed quickly by, a good smash burger, right? I mean, and I love to, heat some queso over it as well. But ribeye steak and a smash burger, you just can't beat that.
Communal grills are certainly something that I'm on the lookout for as we progress here into 2025, as 2024 rapidly coming to a close. We're talking with Aaron Norris here, Tribal Fire Grills, the website tribalfiregrills.com. If you go there, you can also link to the other stuff that we've been talking about here during this segment too. Find them on Instagram, Tribal Fire Grill. Aaron, appreciate the time here this evening and continued success.
Yep, thank you. Appreciate it.
You got it. It's Aaron Norris right there. Go ahead and hit the website up if you aren't familiar. Like I said, I've been hearing about it and then got a nice email from somebody probably handling a little bit of the marketing or the PR and said, would you like to have Aaron on? And at that point, I said, yes. The show has always been about bringing on new cookers and new businesses. Certainly it's not new. That Game Changer's been around for quite a while, but Tribal Fire has been gaining a lot of heat, no pun intended. So let's bring it on, let's showcase it, and if you're in the market, holidays are coming, all that fun stuff, then why not take a look at it and see if it's something that might fit in your backyard or might also give you some nice accessory in the backyard. And again, if you're in the commercial space and you are entertained by what Aaron was talking about on the Game Changer smoker, doesn't have to be under a hood. I had no idea that a commercial hood ran $2,000 or $3,000 a foot. Just another reason you're never going to find me in the restaurant space. Holy crap. I think I need to get into the commercial hood business. Anyway, thanks to Aaron Norris, Tribal Fire Grill's Game Changer smoker. We have Lindsay De Aguila coming up next, Animal-Based Bay. But first, I have this question for you. Are you tired of settling for mediocre grilling experiences? It's time to step your game up and bring the ultimate flavor and cooker to the backyard barbecues. Pits and Spits Charcoal Grills, offering the highest quality live fire cooking experience you can get in the market today. Using either wood or charcoal, their solid fuel grills produce those classic flavors you're looking for when you have the time to fire up the grill and cook for family and friends. With a large adjustable fuel tray, you can raise and lower the fire to control and fine-tune that heat. Their take on the very popular Santa Maria style grill. Check them out online, pitandspits.com. You can also use promo code BBQ Central if you're looking to save $150 off any charcoal grill. Now, you can also grab the Pits and Spits griddle. The gas griddle combines the power of traditional grill with versatility of flat top griddle, engineered with precision and craft from top quality materials. The versatility, or this versatile griddle is set to revolutionize your outdoor cooking experience. It's 304 marine grade stainless. The griddle comes with 4 burners to accurately manage your heat zones. And it'll get to a blistering hot with 80,000 degrees, or 80,000 BTUs. 80,000 degrees, whoa. It's made with the Pits and Spits signature quality, the griddle designed to last for generations. And of course, that new built-in that we talked about last week as well. Head over to pitsandspits.com/BBQ Central Show and use promo code BBQ Central for free spice back with orders for over $500. Our friends over at Pits and Spits. We are back with the animal-based bay. What does that even mean? Stick around and find out.
You're listening to the Barbecue Central Show. Howard Stern, Jim Rome, Dan Patrick, and Greg Rempe. The Mountain Rushmore of talk show entertainment. Now, let's get back to the Barbecue Central Show.
All right, welcome back. This portion of the show being brought to you by Fireboard, makers of the Fireboard 2, Fireboard Pro, the Spark, the Beacon, and, of course, the new Fireboard Pulse. Don't forget, when you use the Fireboard app, you have total access to all your devices anywhere in the world. Fireboard.com, the website, or call with questions, 816-945-2232. My next guest tonight is on a health journey of sorts, a meat-based journey, and a journey that also involves outdoor cooking. Why not? You might already subscribe to her Instagram account. About 200,000 of you are already doing that. Happy to welcome in the first-time guest and the creator of the animal-based bay brand. Lindsay, I'm going to ask for your clarification here because I'm kind of an idiot. Is it De Aguila?
De Aguila.
De Aguila. Damn it! That's what I was going to say.
That's okay.
Forgive
I
me.
tried to do the phonetic spelling for you the other day, but
My phonetics is off, I guess. So I apologize. We have a YouTube poll question of the week that we're asking everybody, including all guests here this evening. So we'll lead with that. I have an idea where you might answer, given what you're up to. But have you tried the McDonald's Chicken Big Mac? Yes or no?
no, definitely not.
Definitely not. All right. Uh-oh. I see the frozen face. Oh, no. See, this is what happens when we do it live.
We'll do it live.
That's right, Bill.
Do it live.
We do it live.
I'll write it and we'll do it live.
It's funny. As I had mentioned, I was at lunch with a colleague today, and she was asking about the show and how it's going. And is it a podcast? I said, yeah, it's live. And part of the discussion was, well, does anything ever go wrong? And in fact, Lindsay?
Are we?
Whoa,
Yes.
You sound 100 times better. Great.
Okay, great. We did it, and I got an applause too.
All
so
right.
my, disclosure to my computer completely shut down right before I logged into this. So I'm like, great, it's perfect timing.
This is the way we do it. All right. This is why we do it live on this
We'll
show.
do it live.
You never know what's going to happen. You never know. So this is when you do it live. First time on the show, so appreciate you taking time here, Lindsay. So a little background
Well, thanks
on
for having
you, what you do professionally, and then maybe where you might be stationed at.
Sure. Well, I guess I'll work backwards. Austin, Texas.
All right.
Here.
Barbecue capital of
Longhorns.
Texas, depending on who you're talking to. Those are fighting words, I know.
That's right. Exactly. So good place to be here, especially if you like meat. And then so what do I do for work is, I guess I have my hands in a lot of different things, but right now I'm working on a lot of education and social content on different platforms, from Instagram to YouTube to TikTok, and what else we got here? We got X, we've got, email and all these things.
everything.
And so, yeah. And so I'm just sharing the journey of animal-based eating and how it's done a really amazing things for my life and my health. And I've had a journey of just eating pretty much like fueling for performance my entire life. And then there's multiple layers to it of being diagnosed with celiac disease. And then, like being a personal trainer and taking people through fitness and health programs, and down to even like having my own food business. So very well aware of, not only from a macro level, but a micronutrient level as it relates to food labels and ingredients and all of these different things. So I probably about 2 years ago I started Animal Based Bae on Instagram, and that kind of it took off. And so then I just kept on sharing the journey of how basically eating meat and dairy and fruit and honey and pretty much no vegetables for 4 years has really healed, my gut, my hormones, and my energy levels. I've felt the best I've ever felt, even as a more veggie-based eater, or, just even heavier carb eater. I wasn't really much into processed foods, just again, being an athlete since I was 5 and fueling for performance. So again, with all the whole foods and even cleanest diets that, I've tried, this is just the best I've felt.
Are blueberries okay to eat?
Yes, that's a fruit for sure. That is also up to you as well. Yeah, score, right? But definitely not the McDonald's that you asked me about.
No, I would never.
Fried chicken or whatever.
Look at me.
So,
body's my temple, of course.
Yeah, but it's always about you too, right? If blueberries doesn't make you feel good, I'm not going to sit here and tell you how good it is for you, because
I feel like I would eat something that didn't taste good if it was good for me. I'm that kind of guy.
Yeah.
But like, I need to know that there's a benefit that's being derived from putting myself through potential discomfort.
For sure. I did that with tomatoes a long time ago.
You like tomatoes?
I hated them so much. I know I don't like tomatoes, and I hated them so much. And I thought they were good for me. And then it turns out that, through my process of just discovering what foods worked for me and what didn't, I did tests such as like gut biome test and hair follicle samples for like different food allergies and non-food related allergies. And sure as heck tomatoes come up. I'm like, just get rid of them.
So they weren't jiving with you.
Right.
Wow.
But furthermore, they're just to discover, them, containing lectins and being a nightshade, and that they could cause some gut disruption, and depending on, of course, with the sourcing, organic and not. So
wow, so you're really into it.
Yeah, for sure.
When did you like?
I'm in.
So you were an athlete. You've mentioned the fueling for performance, so I get that. My oldest daughter was a pretty elite athlete, so she was always very keen on trying to fuel properly. But she's past that stage now, so I'm sure there was a point where you break away from maybe not being active, but getting out of the elite athlete mentality. You can be a little bit more human. So did you start eating normal and then realize I'm just not feeling good, or maybe you weren't getting the aesthetic that you like, and that's when you start digging down into what can I do to make that change?
Yeah, I think after I stopped competing, which was pretty much right after high school, then I started weight training. And, I was a little bit more vain back then, and that's what I ate right for, or rather I was paying more attention to my macros, right? Your proteins, your carbs, and your fats. And so that's sort of when I started playing around with it. But literally a year later, I was diagnosed with celiac disease. And so I had to rediscover how to eat food from just a very like micronutrient sense, and also just even ingredients, start to read the ingredients like way more than just this is meat. It's like, okay, well, what is all this other crap that's in there too? And that's kind of what I advocate for too, is just to for intentional consumption, is just creating awareness around what each ingredient means, and where food is being sourced, and pesticides and glyphosate and all of that, and just to be aware, because I think we can all make our choices of what we want to eat, including the McDonald's fried chicken if we wanted to. I just want transparency. So
Being animal based typically would lead
Mhm.
to cooking outdoors. So, are you somebody that has what we call multiple cooker syndrome, where you have a lot of different cookers outside? Or are you really honed in on one? What's your deal?
Well, not yet. I will get there. However, yes, animal-based eating definitely has me putting a juicy steak on the grill 24/7. Well, I don't want to say 24/7. I'm going to say 2 times a day.
2 times a
breakfast, and
day.
then
Wow. My
dinner.
kind of gal.
Yeah,
Love
for
it.
sure.
Yeah.
I know, right? I eat meat every day, and I'm the healthiest I've been. Go figure, right? So I don't have multiple grills outside, not yet, because I'm one to just do a little bit more research on each grill that I get. So I have right now the Schwenk grill, which I absolutely love. And that grill is just the bomb. It heats up super quickly and it cooks your meals super quickly, and you can't mess it up. It gives you restaurant grade, super high quality sear and even cooking and all of that. So because the other problem with different grills, I think, because this one's stainless steel, it's infrared, it's beautiful, right?
Oddly enough, Schwenk happens to be a sponsor of the show. So this is
all right.
Kismet that you happen to be a lover and supporter of Schwenk. But as someone who doesn't have one,
there we go.
I'm always anxious to hear what people like about them, or at least get their testimonial.
Oh, shoot. Well, yeah, I guess this is my testimonial for them for sure. And
Yeah.
go figure, it aligns, right? Barbecue show, though, have no doubt that they would be a part of this. But yeah, it's because regular grills from, charcoal grills or what have you tend to have, and me being just a health nut through and through, not just the food, but it's about what are we living in? What are we breathing in? What are we surrounding ourselves with? Like, consumption comes from all things except for just I'm sure you've seen on my Instagram, just like me eating organs or meats or things like that,
Yeah,
organs,
organs.
grilled and raw too, right? But the consumption from everywhere, and so a lot of it has to do with the carcinogens, and so there's a lot of reduced smoke that comes from the Schwenk, so way less flare ups from that, and then a really non-reactive cooking non-reactive cooking surface such as stainless steel, right? Otherwise you get metal grates, and then when heated to a certain temperature, then there's a toxic release of compounds and whatever. I can get super detailed on all of this, but there's a reason why I choose definitely the Schwenk to cook most of my meals. Most every meal on the Schwenk, 90% of my meals come from that. One, because I also get outside because they taste good. The sear is amazing. It's super quick. And then the other reason too is if I'm cooking indoors, again, talking about toxic compounds and chemicals and all these things, your house is just it harbors all of these particles, and and then people wonder why they have dry hair, dry skin, and then lung issues and sleep issues and all these things. Yeah. No.
What about no hair? What does that mean?
Maybe other stressors in your life. I'm not sure.
No, I'm chill. Believe me.
Yeah, right. No, hilarious. But yeah, those are just, I get a little weird with it, but I've also had plenty of years of experience of going down rabbit holes and then trying to come back out too.
When did you realize that social media, you were getting traction? I mean, maybe it's, so you go on, you just want to share what you're experiencing, but inevitably the numbers start to tick up. And when do you realize that you have an audience that you can share to that is genuinely concerned and interested in what you're putting out?
Sure. I guess it was more, I had always been somewhat of, a teacher and an educator, whether that be through personal training, or I used to teach self-defense as well to women. And then, would also just being in the world of social media, it was almost like if you started a business, you had to have social media. You had to, have an account. And so I was always present on social platforms under different names. And those were nowhere near as successful at all, right? It was definitely a heavy lift to try to get any, like even one follower a day, right? So I feel like consistency has been just on my side of just showing up every day. And so regardless of what name that fell under. And so when Animal Based Bay, I actually, like, funny story, I didn't want to do another account. I was like, that's it. I'm going off the grid. I'm done with social. And then just another like little short story within that, like I was convinced in ways like, no, you should give it a try, from my friends, like, let's do it. I'm like, fine, one more try, but otherwise I'm off of social media. And so sure as heck, this one just kind of stuck. And so it's not like, I don't know if there was really like one time where it happened and then it happened super quick. And then you just realize that this is something that people want, and not to have it just be all about what they want. And for us and for me to just like always hit that, hit that high of gaining followers. It was just, let me just continue to do what I've always been doing and show up every day and continue to share the message, but just from this angle. And that's just how that worked.
What do you have coming up here over the next couple weeks or a month? If like people around or they want to start getting interested, what can they look forward to?
Yes. So the holidays, right? That's always a little bit of a struggle. But I have holiday menus. Actually just made a wonderful animal-based meatloaf today. And so I'll have a holiday cookbook coming out for this year.
What is animal-based meatloaf? I mean, it's ground beef.
So yeah, it's a mixture of,
you put organ meat in that?
Just shared I did actually. So I put a pound of pork and then a pound of just a blend of organs and like ground beef in there too as well. And then some squash shavings and some cheese and eggs and things like that. Wow. However, you don't have to do the organs because, maybe you don't like it, but you could just do like half and half and just do ground beef. But it keeps it animal based, meaning essentially no veggies or no other, foods that could potentially cause any, inflammation or gut disruptions or all of that. Whatever. I have a guide. I have an animal-based guide that could certainly help you, grocery shop and share some ingredients and foods that are good.
All right. So we're looking forward to that. Yeah. If you aren't subscribed or if you're not following Animal Based Bay on Instagram, it's that handle, 178,000 followers currently. Very impressive. Lindsay, really appreciate you coming on tonight and sharing some of your journey and story, and obviously getting that fortuitous testimony there on the Schwank. Certainly appreciate that as well. And continued success.
Yeah, of course.
We'd love to have you back on again at some point in the future.
Awesome. Cool. Thanks so much for having me.
You got it.
See you next time.
It's Lindsay right there. The Animal Based Bay. Twice a day cooking steak. Did you hear it? Come on, gang. Oofa, twice a day. That's what I'm talking about. Can I have steak twice today?
Great. I don't give a fuck.
Well, I do. I want steak twice a day. Sound effect of the year. And it was just at the end, I imagine. There was a lot of new drops this year. Maybe I can make it till the end and get out on time. Primo Grills, what do we love about them? Fuel efficient, yes. Slow and low temperatures, yes. High heat grilling, yes. Round, no. Game-changing oval design gives you the real ability to do true two-zone cooking. Best way to manage a fire and cook with confidence. However, getting a two-zone fire and a round ceramic cooker is not very realistic because it's round. That's why. I heard you ask why. You have a bunch of new accessories. The grill itself has been revamped over the last couple of years too, so if you've seen an older version of a Primo, check it out again for the first time. Much cooler, much more user-friendly, and again, a huge amount of accessories. The bottom line is this. Are you getting the best ceramics in the biz? Yes. Is there patented technology? Of course. Do you have true two-zone cooking capabilities? I mentioned it a couple minutes ago. Multiple sizes in the oval? Oh, yes. But only sold through dealers. So find a dealer near you by visiting the website, primogrill.com. Find the dealer locator, and then visit them in person. Follow them on social media as well. We're back to wrap the first hour. Stick around. We'll be right back.
Continuing to produce incredibly mediocre content in an exceptionally professional way. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show. Once again, here's your host, Greg Rempe.
All right, we thank Lindsay De Aguila. Joe, was I right? De Aguila? I forgot from the beginning of the conversation. Oh, I'm such an idiot. She sent it to me phonetically, and I'm reading it one way. It's obviously another way. I'm very good at Spanish, too, by the way. For instance, trabajamos en la oficina de la Navidad. Yes. ¿Qué hiciste este fin de semana? All Spanish. I'm very good at it. So I'm usually a much better reader than I am an orator of Espanol. Lindsay De Aguila. That's what I would normally say. Is it De Aguila? De Aguila? De Aguila. I think that might be it. Anyway, go ahead. Get over there. I said it 2 different times, Joe. Which one was perfect? The second one or the first? Don't even remember what I said the first time. Okay, is it number 1, De Aguila, or is it number 2, De Aguila? I think it's number 1, De Aguila. Hey. Anyway, if you're just tuning in, you are listening to me argue with myself about my Spanish. We Mall. You sound like Chunk from Goonies. I don't even know what that means. Animal Based Bay can be found on the Instagrams at the handle Animal Based Bay, all one word. Number 1, De Aguila. I got it. Nailed it. Perfecto. Got that one. Don't forget, Tribal Fire Grills as well was in the first hour. We are getting ready to close out hour number 1. The embedded correspondence will no doubt be loading in here very quickly, and then an hour with them. We'll get an update on the poll next. You're listening and watching the Barbecue Central Show. We're here on the Barbecue Central Network. Stick around. We'll be right back.